In the space of one day, the world may have moved from the brink of regional escalation to the edge of a new diplomatic order. The United States and Iran have signed a preliminary agreement that aims to stop the fighting, reopen one of the world's most important shipping lanes, and restart nuclear negotiations on a fast deadline. The future of the U.S.-Iran agreement remains shrouded in uncertainty, with multiple scenarios unfolding in the days and weeks ahead. The agreement, aimed at curbing Iran's nuclear ambitions, was designed to foster diplomatic relations and reduce hostilities in a region long plagued by conflict. A successful implementation could signal a genuine reduction in tensions, potentially leading both nations toward a more comprehensive diplomatic resolution. This progress could create an environment conducive to further negotiations, not only regarding Iran's nuclear program, but also addressing broader regional security concerns, including the influence of militant groups. However, the risks tied to this agreement are substantial. Should the implementation falter, we might witness a rapid escalation of hostilities, particularly from regional actors such as Israel and Saudi Arabia, who have historically opposed any rapprochement with Tehran. The potential for domestic political backlash in the U.S. looms large, as opposition parties intensify their critique, which could undermine the Biden administration's ability to uphold the deal. Meanwhile, experts are closely monitoring reactions from key players like Israel and Hezbollah. Any military engagement could derail the fragile progress made thus far. In the coming days, official statements from both the U.S. and Iran will be crucial in assessing their commitment to the agreement. Additionally, developments in Lebanon will provide insights into the stability of the ceasefire and the broader regional landscape. As we navigate this precarious moment, one critical question remains: can this agreement truly pave the way for lasting peace, or is it merely a transient pause in a cycle of ongoing conflict? The next few weeks will be pivotal in answering this question, shaping the geopolitical dynamics of the Middle East for years to come. The recent agreement between the United States and Iran marks a pivotal moment in a protracted saga of geopolitical tension. This development follows years of escalating hostilities, particularly in relation to Israel and Iran-backed groups in Lebanon. Notably, a series of recent military strikes in Lebanon have heightened tensions, complicating diplomatic efforts and underscoring the fragile nature of regional peace. The negotiations leading to this agreement were described as chaotic, marred by confusion over procedural details and uncertainty regarding subsequent actions. Initial discussions were particularly strained due to Israel's long-standing opposition to any rapprochement with Iran, stemming from deep-seated fears over Iran's nuclear ambitions and its backing of militant groups like Hezbollah. This backdrop of tension is further complicated by domestic political narratives. Iranian officials have heralded the agreement as a significant victory, framing it as a triumph over U.S. pressure. Conversely, in the United States, the Biden administration faces mounting criticism from Republican lawmakers who perceive the deal as a dangerous concession. This polarized perspective highlights the inherent challenges of achieving consensus on such a multifaceted issue. Historically, negotiations in this region have been plagued by skepticism and a lack of trust, which could impede the effective implementation of the new agreement. Looking ahead, the success of this accord will hinge on the commitment of both nations to uphold the terms and foster a renewed atmosphere of dialogue. If the United States and Iran can successfully navigate their historical grievances, it may pave the way for broader regional cooperation. Such a shift could potentially reshape the geopolitical landscape of the Middle East, encouraging stability and collaborative efforts in addressing common challenges from security to economic development, thereby fostering a more peaceful future for the region. The recent U.S.-Iran agreement marks a pivotal moment in international diplomacy with far-reaching implications for global stability. The Strait of Hormuz is a crucial maritime corridor through which approximately 20% of the world's oil trade flows. This narrow waterway is essential not just for oil-exporting nations, but for the global economy as a whole. A stabilization of tensions in this region can lead to immediate repercussions in global energy markets, potentially lowering oil prices and reducing shipping insurance costs. The agreement seeks to address multiple crises simultaneously, including Iran's contentious nuclear program, the ongoing conflicts involving Israel and Hezbollah, and the broader implications for sanctions relief. This multifaceted approach reflects a shift in diplomatic strategy, aiming to create a comprehensive framework for peace and stability in a historically volatile region. However, the agreement has sparked intense political backlash domestically, especially among Republican lawmakers who argue that the Biden administration is making dangerous concessions to Iran. Their concerns are compounded by the apprehension expressed by Israeli officials who fear that a more empowered Iran could exacerbate regional instability and threaten Israel's security. The Israeli perspective is particularly critical, as any perceived weakening of sanctions might embolden Iranian proxies in Syria and Lebanon, increasing tensions along Israel's borders. As European leaders reassess their positions in light of this agreement, it becomes evident that the geopolitical landscape is shifting, with potential ramifications for alliances and partnerships. The impact of this agreement extends beyond immediate political concerns. A more stable Middle East could foster economic growth and security cooperation among regional players, ultimately benefiting global markets. Improved relations may also encourage investment in infrastructure and energy projects, which have been stalled due to ongoing conflicts. However, the risks are palpable, as any miscalculation could reignite tensions and lead to conflict, potentially destabilizing the entire region once again. Looking ahead, the effectiveness of this agreement will depend on the commitment of all parties involved to adhere to its terms. Continued diplomatic engagement will be crucial in addressing underlying issues and ensuring that the benefits of reduced tensions are realized. In this context, the next few months will be critical as the world observes whether this agreement can indeed usher in a new era of cooperation and stability in the Middle East. On June 20th, 2026, President Donald Trump signed a preliminary agreement with Iran, marking a significant diplomatic shift in U.S.-Iran relations. This agreement, described as a 14-point Memorandum of Understanding, aims to halt the ongoing conflict in the region, reopen the crucial Strait of Hormuz, ease existing sanctions on Iran, and restart nuclear negotiations within a 60-day timeframe. The signing came amid escalating tensions, particularly in Lebanon, where fighting had intensified due to the involvement of Iran-aligned forces, raising concerns about regional stability. Reports indicate that shortly after the announcement, a ceasefire was reached in Lebanon, marking a direct impact of the agreement. The ceasefire was confirmed by U.S. officials, signaling a temporary halt in hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah, which have complicated broader U.S.-Iran negotiations and drawn international attention. The backdrop to this agreement includes years of strained relations following the U.S. withdrawal from the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action in 2018 and subsequent sanctions that crippled the Iranian economy. The ongoing conflict in Lebanon has further complicated the geopolitical landscape, with Iran's influence in the region prompting fears of a wider conflict. The agreement's immediate effects are already being felt on the ground, as markets respond positively to the potential easing of sanctions and a reduction in hostilities. However, uncertainty looms as Swiss officials announced that the talks were suspended for the time being, raising questions about the future of this fragile agreement. This deal differs from previous efforts in that it not only addresses the nuclear issue, but also seeks to unify multiple crises in the region under one negotiation framework. The broader implications of this agreement could reshape alliances and alter the balance of power in the Middle East. Analysts suggest that a successful implementation could lead to a more stable regional environment, while failure could exacerbate tensions and lead to renewed conflict. As both sides navigate this complex landscape, the focus will be on the next steps in the negotiation process, particularly whether Iran will comply with the terms laid out in the memorandum. The coming weeks will be crucial in determining the viability of this unprecedented diplomatic effort. As we reflect on this fragile moment, one question looms. Can this agreement truly lead to lasting peace, Or is it merely a temporary pause in an ongoing cycle of conflict? Share your predictions in the comments and subscribe for daily deep dives.